think we got out. No wonder why we got out.
We have a little bit of slack, so it might be up.
Cullen.
I'll get ready to catch it. It's only 30,000 pounds. Now you gotta get in it, bro. Yeah, that's the only place to
Is it gonna stay though? No, you're good. Strap is stuck. Choo-choo.
So there was the full footage of me flipping the Sherp and us recovering it with the skidder. And I'll just kind of tell you guys the whole story of how that happened. So basically, to make it short, we got invited to go to a mud run to a friends of ours that were hosting it. And they've been wanting us to bring a Sherp out there for a while. So I decided, hey, why not? Let's bring a Sherp out there and show up the built mud trucks and have some fun with it. And I ended up giving the owner, our friend, a ride in the Sherp, and we had our fun in the mud. And then we climbed some gravel piles, and then I saw their big brush pile they had there. And I was like, hey, can I drive on that? He said, you can drive on whatever I want. So I went for it. And as you can see, I went up at once and I started sliding on one of the logs on that pile. And there was a group of probably 30 people behind the camera watching. So I couldn't just back down and give up. I had to go for it. So I ended up finding a little bit of what I thought was a better line and just gave her full throttle in first gear. It's kind of its crawl gear, and ended up making it over that log. But then I kept that momentum going, ended up going down, and it's really hard to tell in that video, but that dip where the corner where the Sherp flipped in was actually really steep there. The grass makes it look like it wasn't as steep, and same to me. When I saw it, I thought it was just flat ground I was going down on, it's gonna be okay, but it was really tall grass there, and it was really deep there, so I ended up going over, then hit that dip, and then once those two tires were in the air, we just braced for impact. I ended up bracing up, and because I didn't want to body flop our friend in the passenger seat. He ended up smushing the interior a little bit, and I'll show you guys where everything was damaged and how we fixed it, but we ended up flipping it. I could have maybe saved it looking back. The only thing I could have maybe done to save it was if I put it in second gear, the faster gear, and then just mashed, or third gear, and mashed the throttle when we started coming up to kind of ride it out. That's the only way I could have maybe saved it, but I was in first gear and I was already had the throttle mashed. It does not go fast in first gear, so that wasn't enough to save it, and I couldn't have turned out of it. You know, it doesn't have a steering wheel, so if I pull the right sticks, which I might have even done I didn't realize that my two tires were in the air, I pulled the right stick, that breaks these two wheels, you know, it locks them up. So that didn't help at all, and that inertia had to go somewhere, so it tipped the unit over. This is the unit it ended up happening on, and you can see we got it repaired for the most part, but the damage that we ended up having was this whole piece here was all bent in, caved in. This window, I'm so surprised didn't break, but this whole window was caved in. It was caved in kind of on this corner up here. This piece of glass was even sticking out. I'm surprised this didn't break either. Broke the mirror. Still got to replace that. And then kind of bent in these fenders a little bit. And then we had a pretty major dent right here, which is still there. It's creased in a bit, but that light pod that we built, the stainless light pod, actually held up and kind of took a lot of that. But we popped that out the best we could. We worked this whole dent out. We drilled out all the rivets, removed the old window, and popped out all of these dents and creases, and you can pause and see in the video from when we flipped it. And we were actually able to save this window. We ordered in a new window. We thought we were gonna need it, but we're actually able to rivet this window back in and save it. We're able to save this window. We just had to bend the body back, and we're able to silicone this window back in. So really the only lasting damage that we have is that creased dent in there, and then we have a little bit of interior stuff that we weren't able to completely save. This whole portion here was caved in because that's where our friend landed. So this was all caved in, this basically storage compartment. We're able to pop this whole thing out, actually back out, and it was good. I mean, you can't even tell that we flipped it right here. That's all awesome. In the back though, you can see where we have some cuts kind of in this fiberglass paneling, and that's from it creasing, bending in. We had a couple floorboards lift out and land and hit basically all on this side, the side we flipped on. So we have some interior damage there, but that's really what you see here is the worst of the damage from that whole flip. We actually didn't end up with any mechanical damage whatsoever. You can see when I started the unit, it was smoking a bit. And basically what happens, we flipped it over on that side. That's the side that the air filter and everything is on. So some of the oil, you know, went up and went into the air filter. So that's why it was, you know, blowing that white smoke. So once we got it back, we swapped out the air filter, cleaned everything out, checked the fluid levels, and it's been running flawlessly since. I flipped it probably about a month and a half ago, and we've been running this unit almost every day with no problems at all. So yeah, that's about all for this video. I just wanted to show you guys the full clip of flipping and kind of the aftermath. I posted a little reel of it, but thought it'd be fun to kind of see the whole thing going and then the recovery. Don't click off this video yet though. I have a pretty awesome clip I'm gonna throw in the end here at the mud run. The owner, our friend, took me through his mud truck after I got the Sherp loaded up, and we actually ended up grenading his transmission, but we had a lot of fun before that happened. So I'll roll those clips. But anyways, guys, God bless. Jesus loves you. I'll see you in the next video.
break the intermediate or the case? Holy I never seen a tranny do that before. I felt it hit the floor though.
I've seen them come through the floor before. That's why I said we all need to get blankets.
That's a good way to end the season.